In the heart of the dense, untouched forest lay a secluded hunting cabin, a haven for those seeking solace in the wild. Jake Thornton, an experienced hunter, decided to embark on a solo expedition deep into the woods. The promise of a legendary buck rumored to roam the area fueled his excitement. As he navigated through the dense foliage, the woods seemed to come alive with an eerie presence. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it an unexplainable sense of foreboding. Undeterred, Jake pressed on, his instincts heightened by the thrill of the hunt. As night fell, Jake set up camp near an ancient oak tree. The air grew colder, and an unnatural stillness settled over the forest. An unsettling feeling crawled up his spine as he heard distant whispers that seemed to echo through the shadows. Unable to shake off the unease, Jake dismissed it as the product of an overactive imagination. Little did he know that the woods held secrets that defied rational explanation. A silent stalker observing his every move. In the pre-dawn light, Jake set out on the trail of the elusive buck. The forest was cloaked in mist, and a sense of isolation weighed on him. Deep within the thicket, he spotted a pair of haunting eyes observing him from the shadows. The eyes seemed to glow with an otherworldly intensity, and an unsettling feeling crept over Jake. He raised his rifle, but the eyes vanished before he could take aim. Uneasy, he brushed it off as a trick of the light, determined to focus on the hunt. The forest became a labyrinth of twisted paths as Jake followed the buck's elusive trail. Unseen eyes seemed to track his every step, and the whispers in the wind grew louder, forming indistinct voices that spoke of ancient curses and forgotten tales. As he closed in on his prey, Jake sensed a shift in the atmosphere. The woods seemed to conspire against him, the once familiar paths leading him deeper into the heart of the wilderness. He realized he was no longer the hunter but the hunted. In his pursuit of the legendary buck, Jake stumbled upon an ancient clearing bathed in an eerie glow. Strange symbols adorned the trees, and an overwhelming sense of malevolence hung in the air. The whispers escalated into anguished cries, echoing the tormented souls of the forest. A dark realization dawned on Jake. The legendary buck was no ordinary prey. It was a guardian, protecting the sacred grounds from intruders. The forest itself was a living entity, and Jake had unwittingly trespassed into its ritual grounds. As Jake attempted to retreat, the forest came alive with ethereal figures that emerged from the shadows. Ghostly apparitions danced around the ritual grounds, their movements synchronized with the haunting cries that reverberated through the trees. In a trance-like state, Jake witnessed the spirits enacting an ancient ritual, their spectral forms intertwining with the very essence of the forest. He understood that he had become a pawn in a supernatural game, and the consequences of his intrusion were far graver than he could comprehend. As the ritual reached its climax, the ghostly figures turned their attention to Jake. Their eyes, mirrors of the haunting ones he had seen earlier, bore into his soul. The forest, enraged by his intrusion, sought retribution for the disturbance of its sacred grounds. In a nightmarish sequence, the apparitions closed in, their ethereal hands reaching for him. Jake, paralyzed with fear, felt a force beyond his comprehension pulling him into the otherworldly dance. The haunting cries crescendoed, blending with his own desperate pleas. In an instant, the forest swallowed Jake whole. The ritual grounds vanished, and he found himself in a nightmarish realm where shadows danced and whispers became agonized screams. The once familiar trees now twisted into grotesque shapes, and the very air seemed to pulse with malevolence. Haunted by the ghostly figures, Jake wandered through the abyss, his mind unraveling with each passing moment. The line between reality and nightmare blurred as he descended into the darkest recesses of the forest's supernatural domain. In the abyssal realm, Jake was tormented by visions and apparitions that defied the laws of nature. The ghostly figures circled him, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly hunger. He could hear their whispers intertwining with the dissonant cries of the tortured souls that echoed through the darkness. As he stumbled through the surreal landscape, Jake felt a profound isolation. The malevolent force that lurked within the abyss seemed to feed on his fear, distorting reality and plunging him into a nightmare from which there was no escape. Amidst the shifting shadows, a spectral guardian emerged, a towering entity with antlers that reached towards the twisted sky. Its eyes, a reflection of the haunting gaze Jake had encountered earlier, held a silent judgment. It was the ancient force that protected the forest's sanctity. The guardian spoke without words, conveying a sense of cosmic authority. Jake understood that his trespass had disrupted the delicate balance of the supernatural forces within the woods. The guardian's gaze bore into his soul, awaiting judgment. In an attempt to plead for mercy, Jake offered a desperate bargain to the spectral guardian. He pledged to leave the sacred grounds, never to return, and to carry the weight of the otherworldly knowledge he had gained back into the realm of the living. The guardian's eyes flickered, as if considering the sincerity of Jake's plea. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the resolution of this otherworldly contract between the mortal and the supernatural. The guardian, after what felt like an eternity, nodded in silent agreement. In an instant, the abyssal realm shifted, and Jake found himself standing once again in the clearing where the ritual had taken place. The forest, no longer twisted into nightmarish forms, seemed to have regained its natural state. Dazed and disoriented, Jake stumbled out of the woods. The spectral guardian's eyes lingered in his mind, a constant reminder of the otherworldly forces that dwelled within the heart of the wilderness. Back in the mortal realm, Jake struggled to make sense of the haunting echoes that lingered in his mind. The whispers, the ghostly figures, and the spectral guardian's gaze haunted his every waking moment. He became an unwilling vessel for the supernatural knowledge bestowed upon him. Haunted by the ordeal, Jake withdrew from the world, tormented by the memories of the abyssal realm. The forest, once a place of solace, had become a haunting reminder of the thin veil between the natural and the supernatural. As the seasons changed, the forest retained the echoes of the supernatural encounter. Locals spoke in hushed tones about the haunting whispers that lingered in the woods. The legend of Jake Thornton's otherworldly journey became woven into the fabric of the small town, a cautionary tale for those who dared to tread too deep into the wilderness. The hunting cabin, once a refuge for those seeking solace in nature, stood as a silent witness to the thin line between the tangible and the ethereal. The legend of the spectral guardian and the haunting echoes of the abyssal realm became an inseparable part of the forest's legacy. In the quiet moments of the night, the forest whispered its secrets to those who dared to listen. The haunting echoes of the abyssal realm carried on the wind, a spectral reminder of the supernatural forces that lurked within the heart of the wilderness. The legend of Jake Thornton and the spectral guardian became etched into the folklore of the small town. The forest, with its ancient rituals and unseen guardians, continued to be a realm where the natural and the supernatural coexisted, forever bound by the endless whispers that echoed through the shadows. Years passed, but the haunting echoes of Jake Thornton's supernatural encounter refused to fade. The small town that bordered the forest carried the weight of its eerie legacy. Locals avoided the depths of the woods, fearing the spectral guardian and the unseen forces that lurked within. The hunting cabin, once a hub of camaraderie and shared stories, now stood in solemn silence. Its walls seemed to absorb the unbroken silence of the forest, as if holding onto the secrets that had unfolded within its proximity. Intrigued by the town's eerie reputation, paranormal investigator Amelia Harper arrived, drawn by the tales of the haunted forest and the spectral guardian. Armed with an array of supernatural detecting equipment, Amelia sought to unravel the mysteries that clung to the woods. As she delved into the history of the small town, Amelia uncovered the legend of Jake Thornton and the spectral guardian. Determined to document the supernatural forces at play, she set her sights on the haunted cabin and the heart of the forest. As Amelia ventured deeper into the woods, the forest seemed to come alive with the resurfacing whispers that had haunted Jake Thornton. Unseen eyes observed her every move, and the atmosphere grew increasingly charged with an otherworldly energy. Amelia's equipment registered anomalous readings, capturing glimpses of spectral figures that flickered in and out of existence. Undeterred, she pressed on, driven by a relentless curiosity to uncover the truth that lay hidden within the shadows. Amelia reached the ancient clearing where the spectral guardian had judged Jake Thornton. The air grew thick with anticipation as the haunting eyes of the guardian appeared, fixating on the intruder who dared to trespass on sacred ground once again. The guardian's silent warning echoed through Amelia's mind, a telepathic communication that conveyed the ancient force's displeasure. But the investigator, fueled by determination, pressed on, her quest for answers overriding the instinctual fear that gripped her. As Amelia delved deeper into her investigation, she uncovered the origins of the spectral guardian and the supernatural forces that permeated the forest. The ancient rituals, the curses, and the thin veil between dimensions revealed a tapestry of the extraordinary. The haunting echoes that had plagued Jake Thornton were laid bare, each whisper unraveling a fragment of the forest's enigmatic history. Amelia realized that the spectral guardian was not a malevolent force, but a guardian of the delicate balance between the natural and the supernatural. In a moment of revelation, the spectral guardian communicated with Amelia, sharing the untold stories of the forest and its role as a nexus of supernatural energies. It spoke of the importance of preserving the delicate equilibrium and the consequences that befell those who sought to disturb it. Amelia, humbled by the guardian's wisdom, understood the significance of her findings. The forest, with its haunting echoes and spectral guardians, was a realm that defied conventional understanding, a place where the natural and the supernatural coexisted in a delicate dance. As Amelia concluded her investigation, she made a solemn pledge to respect the sanctity of the forest and its spectral guardian. The haunting echoes would remain, a testament to the mysterious forces that dwelled within the heart of the wilderness. The investigator left the small town, carrying with her the knowledge of the supernatural forces that lingered within the woods. The legend of Jake Thornton, the spectral guardian, and the haunting echoes would endure, etching the forest's enigmatic legacy into the fabric of the town's folklore. The forest, unchanged by the passage of time, continued to whisper its secrets to those who ventured into its depths. The haunting echoes of the abyssal realm and the spectral guardian's judgment persisted, an eternal reminder of the supernatural forces that defied explanation. The small town, burdened by the weight of its eerie legacy, learned to coexist with the mysteries that dwelled within the heart of the woods. The legend of the spectral guardian and the unbroken silence of the forest became an inseparable part of the town's identity, forever bound by the eternal whispers that echoed through the shadows. Despite the solemn vows made by those who encountered the forest's mysteries, an unsettling presence began to stir within the woods. The guardian, once a silent observer, sensed a disturbance in the delicate balance that had been upheld for centuries. The ancient rituals, disturbed by the footsteps of curious intruders, began to resonate with a dark energy. The whispers that once spoke of forgotten tales turned into ominous warnings, foretelling a looming darkness that threatened to awaken from its slumber. As the town settled into an uneasy peace, the nights grew longer, and a cursed moon cast an eerie glow over the forest. The spectral guardian, attuned to the celestial shifts, felt the encroaching darkness intensify. Unseen forces began to gather in the shadows, drawn to the town by an irresistible malevolence. The haunting echoes that had become a part of the folklore now carried a sense of urgency, as if the supernatural forces within the forest were preparing for a battle against an unseen adversary. The townspeople, unaware of the impending threat, found themselves haunted by nightmares that blurred the line between reality and the supernatural. Sleepless nights became the norm as whispers echoed through their minds, conveying a sense of impending doom. Amelia Harper, the paranormal investigator who had once delved into the secrets of the forest, received a cryptic message in her dreams. The guardian, reaching out across dimensions, warned her of the awakening darkness and the need to confront the malevolent forces that sought to breach the veil. Amelia, compelled by a sense of responsibility, returned to the small town. The spectral guardian, once a stoic protector, revealed the existence of an ancient force that sought to exploit the supernatural energies within the forest for its own nefarious purposes. An unholy alliance between the malevolent force and the curses embedded in the ancient rituals threatened to tip the balance in favor of darkness. The guardian implored Amelia to unite with those who once dared to tread into this supernatural realm and stand against the impending threat. As night fell, a group of individuals, each touched by the haunting echoes of the forest, converged on the small town. Jake Thornton, forever marked by the spectral guardian's judgment, joined forces with others who had encountered the supernatural forces within the woods. The group, guided by Amelia and the spectral guardian's wisdom, prepared for the impending storm. The cursed moon hung low in the sky, casting an ominous pallor over the forest as the malevolent forces gathered, ready to breach the veil that separated the natural from the supernatural. In the heart of the woods, the final confrontation unfolded. The group faced an onslaught of malevolent entities that emerged from the shadows, drawn by the curses embedded in the ancient rituals. The haunting echoes intensified, creating a cacophony of spectral voices that reverberated through the trees. Amelia, armed with the knowledge gained from her previous encounter, led the group in a battle against the malevolent forces. The guardian, its eyes ablaze with determination, stood alongside the defenders, ready to protect the forest's sanctity. The battle raged on, and the forest became a battleground between the defenders and the malevolent forces. The cursed moon reached its zenith, casting an unholy glow over the supernatural skirmish. Despite the overwhelming darkness, the defenders held their ground. The guardian, its antlers aglow with an ethereal light, channeled the ancient energies embedded within the forest. The haunting echoes, once a source of fear, now resonated with a power that defied the malevolent forces. In a climactic moment, the guardian unleashed a surge of supernatural energy that shattered the malevolent forces. The curses embedded in the ancient rituals were dispelled, and the forest's sanctity was restored. The cursed moon faded from the sky, and a serene calm settled over the woods. The haunting echoes transformed into a chorus of gratitude, as if the forest itself expressed appreciation for the defenders who had stood against the encroaching darkness. With the malevolent forces banished and the supernatural energies at rest, the small town and its forest reclaimed a semblance of tranquility. The spectral guardian, its eyes now filled with a sense of gratitude, returned to its stoic vigil, ensuring the delicate balance endured. The defenders, marked by their encounters with the supernatural, carried the legacy of the haunting echoes with them. The small town became a testament to the resilience of the natural and the supernatural, forever bound by the enduring power of those who dared to confront the mysteries that dwelled within the heart of the woods.